I wonder why NVIDIA chose so long and so late in the day to do the keynote. This is very concerning. Maybe they're kind of hiding the prices. Oh, the 5000 series, possibly. Probably they think people are gonna have to trade in their organs to buy them. Let's see. Oh, it's starting. Let's find out. Let's find out right now. What are the prices going to be? Hey everyone, it's the boy Lock Tech back again with another video. Now we're fresh off the start to CES 2025, and there was a bunch of info dump yesterday on all the keynotes from Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA. NVIDIA, as per usual, having the longest of the keynotes. And guess what? To no one's surprise, all three companies, especially NVIDIA, 90% of the presentation was AI. By the way, here the 5000 series. It kind of like was a brief 5-minute, or not a 5-minute, 2-minute thing about the 5000 series for NVIDIA, the new next gen GPUs. And as expected, I don't know how to say it, the prices, especially the 5090, as everyone expected, is an arm and a leg and some organs you have to trade in to buy it. Because that's right, you guessed it, the 5090 has increased in price, but surprisingly, the 5080, 5070 Ti, and 5070 regular have dropped somewhat in price and didn't get a price bump unlike the 5090. Now, the surprising thing about the 5090, we'll get to the prices, the eye-watering prices in a minute. But the surprising thing about the 5090, according to Jensen, it shows that what he had in his hand looks pretty much like a 2-slot video card. So I guess you could say goodbye to the chunker of a GPU of the 5090, like how the 4090 was, etc. But the thing that's really getting me before you even get to the prices, why are we making GPUs that are pushing almost 600 watts board power? What are you trying to do? Power a jet? Like 600 watts almost, 575 to be exact. Tiny brain pop there, for a tiny boost once to whatever megahertz frequency is going to boost that, it's already way past 600 watts. And that's not even factoring all the other things that could contribute to the watt pulling, depending on how hard it has to work. But it's probably increased board power because of the AI changes they made within it. So they did a lot of cracking down on improving and upgrading of the AI capabilities and machine learning of the 5090. And it's really, I don't know how I feel about it. I think they're still too expensive. I'm sure most of you think so as well. But let's get to the prices. First off, we start with the 5090. As everyone expected, the 5090 is running hundreds of dollars more of the last gen, because last gen 4090 was wrong, I think, started at MSRP of $1,600, which is a lot of money for a GPU. But they said, hey, they're still giving us our money, so let's throw us a couple $100 more. So now the 5090, I don't care if it's 8 more gigs of video RAM, because I think the 4090 was 24 gigs and the 5090 is 32 gigs. But they are using different memory, GDDR7 versus GDDR6, and they're pricing it at $2,000. So all the rumors and stuff that we're talking about weren't too far off. Some people were saying between $2,000 to $3,000 for the 5090, and it came up to be $2,000. But I'm sure when you factor in the board partners at ASUS, Gigabyte, and all the other people that make and video cards, the AMBs are definitely going to be easy chalk on at least $150+ on top of that. So the almost 3,000 is highly still likely because AIB partner prices ain't come out yet. But the reference model, the Founders Edition, is pushing $2,000 for a freaking GPU. We were complaining about $1,000 for a GPU for last gen for the XTX and the 4080, etc. Now they said, hey, just say, let me upgrade my leather jacket to alligator skin or snake skin or whatever it was and charge a couple $100 more. So now we're happy for people who even have half a brain. Who's gonna pay $2,000 for a 5090? Who? Let me know. I know I'm not. I'd rather take the performance sake by whatever AMD is gonna release, but $2,000 is way too steep in my opinion. I don't care how next gen it is or how much video card RAM it has. $2,000 is excessive. So they're claiming that it's double the performance of last gen 4090, but notice in their presentation that they show everything was DLSS 4 frame generation. So I'm not buying their charts about, oh, it's 50% more performance than last gen until I see third-party benchmarks. Because I'm not going by, I never go by first-party benchmarks, what they want you to see. That includes all companies, AMD, NVIDIA, whoever. I want to see hard, cold, raw performance without DLSS on at all. That's when I'll make a decision. But still, at the end of the day, $2,000 is too much. Move on, next in line, we talk about the 5080, which is cut down slightly, about half the CUDA cores of the 5090, which is like 21K plus. So this is roughly probably 10 something K, roughly I believe, for the 5080 CUDA core count. And they're charging $1,000 for the 5080. Now, a lot of people are surprised about this price in particular because 4080 launched at $1,200. So they cut down $200. I guess we give them a cookie for dropping the prices that shouldn't be that high anyway. But the 5080 is going to be running 16 gigs, which is a big sore spot since the announcement for many of us that were looking to get 5080. Because for something that expensive and that high end, you would think that it should follow suit for the last gen 4080, which I think was 20 gigs or 24 gigs or something along those lines. But they're cut down the VRAM capacity. So now the 5080 is only going to be pushing 16 gigs of GDDR7 and they're charging you $1,000 for it. $1,000 is too much money to me. I don't care how next gen it is. $1,000 is too much money for just 16 gigs of VRAM. We'll see how it performs versus last gen. On to the next one, 5070 Ti, which is kind of like $50 less than the 4070 Ti. I believe the 4070 Ti launched around 600, not 600, 800, and the 5070 Ti is launching, according to them, at $750. So roughly about $50 cut from last gen launch prices. Still a lot of money for something that's only going to have 12 gigs. Could you at least, I can understand the 5070 having 16 gigs and then the 5080 having 20 gigs or at least 24 gigs like last gen, but the fact that they're putting the Ti and the regular 5070 at only 12 gigs GDDR7 is questionable at their price points. Now, a lot of people were probably going to think the sweet spot probably going to be the 5070 and the 5080, not the Ti. The Ti seems to be the worst out of place right after the pricing of the 5090 because the 4070, they're claiming, of course with DLSS 4, they're claiming that the 5070 is going to produce same performance more, at least 20-25% more, or give you at least 4090 last gen performance. I call BS. I gotta see actual numbers to show your DLSS on your fancy hardware and software because I do not believe for one second, like many of us, that a 5070 is gonna produce the same results, raw performance as the 4090. The 4090 in itself was already a crazy monster. I know you can tell me something that's 3 tiers down from last gen is gonna perform equal or just slightly less than the 4090. I gotta see evidence. Where are the receipts? So they're charging 5070 for $750, still too much for a ton. Come on, NVIDIA. Intel charging $250 for their 12 gig video card. Even though it's more budget oriented, it's still 12 gigs of VRAM. The same VRAM you have in the 57 and the 57 Ti. I think 750 is too much. 550 you might get away with for the regular 5070, but the BS on that part for the regular 5070, which is charging for 554, is it performing similar to 4090 performance of last gen. So let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know in the comments below if y'all planning to buy the new next gen NVIDIA video cards, the 5000 series. Do you plan to give AMD a chance since they are kind of silent with their launch and see if they give good bang for your buck that they're known for? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, this is your boy Luck Tech signing out and more CES coverage coming soon.